Nearly a week after pro-Palestine protesters gathered on ASU's campus last week, dozens of arrested students got notice they can no longer live on campus or go to in-person or online classes until there's a decision whether they violated the school's code of conduct. It's a punishment attorney David Chami says is too harsh. He is an attorney with the Council on American Islamic Relations.
So you've got kids that are literally homeless without a place to go. They're being prevented from even communicating with their instructors.
He is representing 20 students in the case and filed an emergency motion to lift the interim suspension.
I want to stay the suspension until the court has an opportunity to hear their case, to have the university actually consider what each of them did, what their role was, why they were arrested, and whether their conduct even warrants a suspension.
An ASU spokesperson says that decision is up to the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. Then, students have a right to appeal the University Hearing Board, which is made up of students, faculty, and staff. The board has 3 days after the hearing to issue its recommendation, and a final determination by the university can take up to an additional 20 days.
Leave our campus!
Overnight, 22 students were arrested at Northern Arizona University, and several others were arrested at the University of Arizona. Police moved in on both campuses to remove pro-Palestinian protesters who refused to leave after the curfew. All 3 universities have similar processes in place, with standards of behavior set by the Arizona Board of Regents. And today we did reach out to the Arizona Board of Regents. The board said individuals exercising their First Amendment rights must follow all applicable laws, university regulations, and the Aber Code of Conduct. The ACLU has also voiced concerns over the arrests on college campuses, saying schools must not single out particular viewpoints for censorship, discipline, or disproportionate punishment. Reporting live in the newsroom, Alexis Dominguez for Arizona's Family.